reference back to this. Reference back to this as well. So today we're going to talk about listings and how to get them. And a lot of this is some basic information. I covered it a couple months ago, but with the start of the year, I felt it was important to go back through and actually dive into each one of these and show you examples, because I went through it. Some of you may not be as tech as others. So we're going to talk a lot about the different, the intricacies of each one of these. The first one is your database. I always refer to your database as, it is your business. If you're an attorney, if you're a doctor, if you're a dentist, your business is your database. Same with real estate, right? So if we keep working our database, you will get referrals from there. Those referrals are going to be easy to work with because it's people that you know. So when I tell you to work your database, everybody's like, Al, what do you mean? Because, I got my people in my database, but I don't want to just call them and say, hey, who do you know? Do you know anybody? I keep doing that. They're going to get sick of me. They're going to get tired of me calling. They're not going to answer my call. Look, you're just going to be a friend. Okay. When you're reaching out to them monthly, weekly, it's just so you keeping top of mind to them is what you're doing with your database. That's it. You don't talk to them at all about real estate when you call them and talk to them. You simply ask them how they're doing, how their life's going. Use the Ford questions, right? Remember Ford? Family, occupation. Come on. Ford. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Recreation. Dreams, right? Basically, you're just being a friend. Okay. So every once in a while, you are going to throw real estate in there. So how do I do that? How do I talk to them about real estate? Well, if they own a house, you simply ask them, look, would you like to know what your house is worth? Market's changed. Maybe they want to do a HELOC. If you don't know what a HELOC is, you need to do some research on that. HELOC is a home equity line of credit. There's a couple different HELOCs you can get. One is where you just take the lump sum out and you spend the money. The other one is just like a line of credit, meaning it acts like a credit card. So if somebody owes $100,000 on their house and it's worth $300,000, right? They could take, we're just going to say 100,000. It could be more than that, but we'll just say 100,000 as a line of credit. So they have an emergency that comes up. They have an emergency fund they can tap into. They have 10 years to draw, 10 years to pay it back. It's a great tool for them, especially if they're looking to do some sort of addition to their house. Maybe they have an emergency coming up. They don't know where to find the money. That works great. So a HELOC is one. Some people want to refinance. If they bought within the last couple of years, when rates were crazy, like it's 7 and 8%, it may be worth them refinancing now, but they need to know what their house is worth, right? Because they may be able to take cash out that way. Simple as that. Some people just want to know what their house is worth. They like to keep abreast and keep up to date with how much equity they have. Yes.
What's the difference when you refinance? You can take cash out, correct?
Yes.
What is the difference between the HELOC and when you refinance and take the cash out?
Great question. So when you refinance, you're going to change the rate on your primary mortgage payment, right? And you're just adding more to the debt for your house. It's all one loan. When you do a HELOC is like a second loan. HELOC, if you just take the lump sum out, it's a second loan. If you take out this own interest rate, own everything. Yep, the mortgage stays the same.
The interest rate stays the same.
That's right.
Stays the same.
Nothing. Yes. Okay. It's only if you use it though. So remember, there's two types of HELOCs.
Right.
One where you take out the lump sum, and one you just take out the credit line.
Okay.
Make sense?
Kind of.
Okay.
But yeah, it might be another thing.
Yeah, that may.
Okay.
So when you have a home equity line of credit, you can take it out like it's a second mortgage. Okay. So you have your primary. Mm-hmm.
Like you went to the bank, took out a whole other loan.
It's like a second loan on your home.
Interest rate.
That's right. That's right. So instead of taking all the money though, like when you do a HELOC, they're going to ask you if you want to do there's take it all one lump sum or take it out based on a variable rate. That rate's usually a little higher. HELOC rates are about 8%. If you do the variable, it's about 11%. But the variable is the one you want, even though it's a higher rate, because you don't take all the money out. You make no payments. The only way you make a payment is if you take money out on it.
So you could
Yes.
money sitting in your bank.
That's right.
If you're not spending it, then you're not paying any.
That's right.
on it.
That's right.
Okay.
So it acts as like an emergency fund.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
So look, even if the interest rate is 11% and you take out $50,000, you don't spend it you don't use any of it for years. And then all of a sudden you need to use money. Okay. And you take out, if you have $100,000 of an equity line and you take out $50,000 for an emergency expense, you only have to make interest payments
on what you spent.
on what you've taken out. Right? So your monthly payment's like $500 a month for $50,000. Go get a loan anywhere else for $50,000 for $500 a month. Sure, it's interest only, and then you have 10 years to draw on that. So I could take out 50,000 and 2 years pay it back, take out 10, pay it back, take out 20, 30, 40, pay it all back, or when it hits 10 years, then I have another 10 years after that to pay it off. Does that make sense?
So you don't make payments on it until it's all gone?
No, you make payments on it as you draw it out. But when they start adding principal payments at year 10,
Okay.
up till 10, it's just interest only. But it's a whole separate loan. Okay? That want to get into a HELOC. Does anybody else online have questions about HELOCs? Because it's good information to know when you're talking to folks in your database and they say, I have this thing coming up that I need to spend some money on, but I'm just stressing about it. And they've owned their house for a while. It's a great tool for them to use to be able to have that money and make low payments. So
Al, did you have a specific flyer on that HELOC?
I don't, but I can put something together and send it to you. I think I
That'd be
had
great.
covered that in ways to create a financing, but I'll send some stuff out for you, Kim.
Thank you.
If you, a really cool thing is Navy Fed actually has a HELOC. Most banks, HELOCs are only 10-year draw, a 10-year payback. Navy Fed has a program right now with their HELOCs are a 20-year draw, and then you have 20 years after that to pay it back. So if you don't have a HELOC and you have equity in your house, you're crazy not to go get it, especially if you're in real estate, because you can use it to buy investment properties when those foreclosures come on the market. Yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
whole other thing. If you got somebody that wants to get in investments and they don't know how to get cash, again, that was the other class. You can easily tell them, well, how much equity do you have in your house? Well, I don't know. Well, let's set a time. Let me go over the numbers and then we can talk about how to do it. If you run into that situation and you need help on that, please call me and come see me and I'll coach you through it. If you set your people up on a buyer follow-up program so they keep in touch, that's how you keep in touch with your database. Your database is going to give you referrals, right? They're going to give folks that or they're going to know people. Everybody in your database knows 4 people that will do something in real estate this year. So if you just keep in touch with them, you could have 4 transactions out of everybody in your database. How many people do you have as your A's in your database? 10? It's potentially 40 transactions. It could be referrals, but it's still 40 different ways to get money, right? Pretty good stuff. Handwritten cards. You're like, Al, people talk to me about handwritten cards all the time. Well, look, if you see, these are postcards that we have in the cabinet here that are free. I love this one, right? If you talk, you can simply send this out. It says, I am now taking listings. Put your business card, write a little note, and send it to people that you know. You can send it to your database, right? Look, you're always taking listings, but sometimes you have to be intense about it, right? Sometimes you just put it in front of them and they're like, oh, cool. Well, I knew they were busy, but hey, now they're open.
on those.
You can print on them, you can do what you want, but these cards themselves are free, right? And then you have the postage thing, credits with the office. Remember? Other postcards that we have are this one. Let me move this so y'all can see them a little bit better. Again, these are all within the office in the cabinets, either upstairs or downstairs, or if you're at Henderson, they have them in your office as well. See Tammy or Tina or Jenny. But if you're doing an open house and you want to send this out to the people that's in the community or around that house, these are all free. Free. Obviously, you just have to handwrite, print on them, do something, and then the postage is not free. It just takes time, okay? A lot of things we're going to talk about today, they take time. But you know what? If you're doing lead gen in the morning and you have your schedule of 2 hours of lead gen, here's your time to lead gen. Lead gen, everybody thinks, is time that I have to spend on the phone, calling people, in front of somebody. Sure, that is the best way. But as long as you're doing something to grow your business in that 2 hours, besides watching TV, going down a rabbit hole on Facebook, something like that, right? You do something to generate business or grow your business, and that lead gen time that you have time blocked, you will grow your business. All right, back to this. Handwritten cards. We even have just blank cards that you can write on. We have thank you cards. Look, we have all, it's free in the office. Questions about database? No? Cool. So let's go to FSBOs. I talk a lot about for sale by owners. And I know the last time we talked about it, I tell you, oh, look, when I see, and I'm driving around and I see a for sale by owner, I stop and I go knock. That is the best way. Why is that the best way? Can anybody tell me?
Face to face.
Face to face, absolutely. Why else?
Very little chance they talk to you.
So somebody that's listing their house on their own, they're learning a lot. They're going through a lot of uncomfortable situations. People knocking on their door, people coming to look at the house that aren't qualified, right? So when you go knock on the door, you're making it more uncomfortable for them because now somebody else is at my door. What do they want, right? They don't want to be bothered. They just want to sell their house, but they don't know what they're doing. So when you go and you knock on the door, especially the ones that say no soliciting, that for sale by owner sign up front kind of trumps all that. Okay, you don't worry about any of that no soliciting. You got an advertisement up front. You're selling your house. I'm interested. I may have a buyer.
I mean, and what would happen if they're like, you're soliciting?
You have a for sale by owner sign. I'm interested in your house. I'd like to see your house. Yeah. No, look, I knock on the door and they say, how you doing? Well, they see I have Coldwell Banker on my shirt. They're like, yeah, we're not listing. Oh, cool. I'm not here to list your house. I just want to know about it. I don't have to see it, but I'm getting to that. I'm just here to figure out how much you want. Tell me about it. I just saw the sign, right? And when you're there, you're making a friend. You're trying to help them. You got to keep in mind, again, the activities to get the business. You're there to help them. So it says you're going in and you're simply saying, can you show me around? Tell me about your house. Okay, I'm not going to ask them why they're moving. I'm not going to ask them when they need to move because I'm breaking agency, right? But I can ask them, how'd you figure out the price? Have you had a lot of people come and looking? Where do you have it marketed? Do you have photos online that I can share with my buyers? Okay? And when you ask them, where did you come up with price? Simply say, they may say, well, I have a friend that's an agent. Awesome. And they tell you the price, right? And let's say you know it should be worth about $230 because you watch the hot sheet every morning and you see the homes that are going on the market in that community. So you have the knowledge. So when you knock on the door and they say, well, we're listed at $330, and you know that market's at $230, $240, then they say, I have a friend that's in real estate. All right. Well, obviously they're not getting great advice, right? Does that shut you down? No. Just like your database, okay? You know a ton of people in your database. Everybody that you know knows probably 10 other real estate agents, but they're going to work with you because they like you. Same with for sale by owners. They know agents, they just don't want to work with them. You may be the one they want to work with just because of your sparkling smile. Right? You don't know face to face. Other places to get them is online. We'll start with Facebook. If you go to Facebook Marketplace and you simply go to Marketplace, and then I'm going to search up here for sale by owner. Boom. And it's going to pull up all the houses for sale by owner. Look, I know y'all know how to use Facebook. You're probably a lot better at it than I am. But there was one, look at this one that's on the beach, 450. And I can look at the photos. Then I'm going to come down, and I know you know how to do stalking and look at people up. They live in Raleigh. So do you think it's easy for them to show the house or do anything or the house? That's right. So I would probably reach out to them and just try an online conversation with them. If I see that they live in town, I'm going to drive by and see the for sale by owner sign in the yard, and then I'm going to every one of these that I can't tell where they live, I'm going to go drive by.
And up their deed, find out their like
Mhm.
names for.
We'll get there. Yep. No, we'll get there. I love that you do all the homework and research. Look, it's not just I click on this button on this house, I send a message, and I get the listing. It isn't like that, folks. You all know that, right? You got to do some work. Where the work is, this is someone really ready, willing, and able to sell their home. They want $200,000 for this property, right? No clue how long it's been on here. I'm sure there's a way to see that, how long it's been on Facebook. It looks 7 weeks ago. So it's been on there for quite some time. Do you think they're ready to do something else? Roll Tide, go Louisiana. Yeah, I mean Alabama. Yeah, sorry. But we know there's issues. Look at that. It's got a window unit in it. See if they got, I don't think they have any. Yeah, I was just going to say there's no pictures inside. There's another window unit. So they definitely priced high, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to go in there and say that. You're going to kind of go in and again, be a friend. How's it been going? Have you had any showings? What kind of feedback have you got from the showings? Because these are things that you do as an agent, right? I noticed you didn't have any pictures of the inside on Facebook. Do you have them anywhere else online? Right? Probably. That looks like a modular. But they've only got, no, it's blue. It's blue metal. Yeah, you can see the ridges right there. But it's listed over a week ago. Yeah. So another site that you can go to. Look, if you don't want to know what sites, you just simply go to Google for sale by owner Jacksonville, and it pulls up all these sites, right? So go to forsalebyowner.com, and it's going to pull up different website, different people that have their house for sale. And then I'm going to do the same thing before. I'm going to go drive by. We're going to get into how to do the research on are they living in the property? Are they not living in the property? Well, I'll show you that all in just a minute.
Try to sell their property by themselves.
You go to military by owner. Anybody ever been to that site? Military for sale by owner, Jacksonville. Boom. Military by owner. This is another one. I'm going to go to, I want to buy, and I'm just going to put in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Boom. It's going to pull up whatever's for sale by owner in Jacksonville. Looks like there's only one. Let's try Schlands.
Can you pull
There's
it up?
one in Richlands. We could just show map too. Zoom out. Sorry, let me move this. Well, I don't know why it's not pulling it. I don't think you can do on slow. Nothing in Sneed's Ferry, but just keep putting them in. Look, I would go buy this one. That'd be a good one to go buy. 339. Oh, it's John Newton put it up there because you can pay to put it on there. So do the research first to see if it's listed for sale. Take the address, put it in the MLS, even on for sale by own, even on Facebook, you can pay to have it put on there as an agent. Yep.
Because then interested people call you, the agent.
That's right.
And then you.
That's right. But when you go to, I used to put them on there. But when you go to put it in, you got to pay, and then you make sure they know because it says here by real estate agent, so they know.
So that doesn't necessarily mean it's represented by. He's just advertising.
No, it is. It is being represented. The agent can't put it in there for sale if he doesn't have an agency agreement.
So it is listed, that one's been listed in MLS and he posted it on here as well.
Yeah, some agents market it there. Look, whenever homes are sitting on the market longer, you find different avenues to market properties, and this is another one is for sale by owner. So we're going to get into how to do research in just a second. I want to talk about the next one here in a minute. So does anybody have any questions about for sale by owner? I got one more thing to talk about for sale by owner. I just want to see if you have any questions about where to find them. Because the other way is driving around. And when you're driving for dollars, which we're going to talk about in a minute, you're going to see them. And when you see them, you can use different apps that we're going to talk about on how to pull that up. If you want to know a good for sale by owner program, Tim Milam has a for sale by owner that I can email to everybody. And he has a ton of different ideas and tips that's worked for him. You can even print this out. It's got tips for selling the house. You could give that to people. You could give them this. This is steps to selling the home that you could give to them. So you have something to hand out as you're driving around. Keep a little kit. Put it in our Coldwell Banker folders with a working real estate agent brochure along with this, and then hand it to them.
Minus that one.
Yeah.
We're not.
Well, I mean, you could take and edit that and change that out and put your information there. Or just take your business card and put it across the top. You know what I mean? And then he has different dialogues for scripts. Look, I don't like a script. I'm not going to read this to somebody, but it'll give me language, right? So when I go to talk to them, if they have questions, I know what to say and how to respond. Does that make sense? Really, really good program. He teaches it once or twice a year. And yeah, I'll send that out to everybody as well. Probably in my Friday follow-up, I'll make sure I get it out. So that was for sale by owners. No questions on for sale by owners. I'm not watching the chat, so if y'all got questions, you got to pipe in, okay? Next one is driving for dollars. Everybody's like, what's driving for dollars? Look, I love driving for dollars. I used to do it all the time. It's simply when you drive down the road to go show a house, or look, you've done lead gen all morning and you just need to get out and just go drive and go sit somewhere and just kind of decompress, stare at the water, stare at the woods. I don't know, stare at the people coming out of the mall or whatever. I don't what Walmart, doesn't matter. When you're driving there, you're looking for houses that are coming that are vacant. You're looking for in the summertime, and you're looking for high grass. Now you're looking for windows that are open with no furniture. It looks like it's just no one living there. Simple as that. And when you see that, you can do two different things. You can use an app called LandGlide. LandGlide is an app that as you're driving around, it pulls up and shows you the property, right? And put it on your phone. And as you're driving around, if you've noticed, as I put my mouse over this, it's telling me right here who the owner is of all these properties. It does that on my phone. It automatically tells me who they are. So when I'm driving around and I see a property, if I click on it, it's going to pull up the information. This back over here tells me their mailing address. It is owner occupied. It gives me some other data about them, but the main thing, it tells me whether or not it's owner occupied, which means if it says owner occupied and it looks vacant, they deuced out. They moved, right? Maybe they rented it or they're renting it and the tenant moved out, but they never changed their address. It definitely looks vacant. Something happened. Maybe it was a divorce and they both moved back home. You don't know. There's so many different things it can be, but you just know that it's not somebody that's been renting for a while or an investor or something like that. Now on the app, you can simply put a pin there. That's why you see all these different pins that I have. And you can come back to your computer and log in and see all these. Or as you're on your app, you can hit send where it says copy. You would hit send and text it to yourself, email it to yourself, whatever. This is a link that's supposed to pull up the county tax record. It takes you to the county site so you can do a search. That link was actually broke at one time, so they're working on fixing that. This works throughout North Carolina. Now, this is a paid app. You have to pay for this. It's like 10 or 20 bucks a month just for the state of North Carolina. I do like countrywide so that when I'm in traveling, I can go ahead and look every place up. And it's like $100 a year to have the app. But you can see as I zoom out, these are all the ones that I've done in the past. As I was driving for dollars, I think there's almost 100 of them that were vacant. Yeah, 94. 94 different properties that I saw that were vacant that I followed up on. And I'm going to show you how to find that information in just a minute. Another way as you're driving around is to use a system called RPR. Those of you that don't know RPR, it's Realtor Property Resource. It allows you to pull up all sorts of stats on properties. So let's go back into LandGlide and let's zoom in on one of these properties and we'll pretend that we're out front because we don't want to pay for anything. We are trying to save our money, so we don't want to pay. So let's do this one right here. 2126 Piney Green Road. It's an estate, right? Let's do another one. That's going to be a little bit. How about this one? 148 Plow Point. It is owner occupied. So I am sitting out front of this house. I was just driving through the community, looking at Christmas lights, whatever, and it looks like it was vacant. So I'm going to pull up RPR on my phone and I'm going to put in 148 Plow Point Lane, Jacksonville. Boom. Look, you can use tax record in your phone if you want, or your computer. Tells me the owner's name right here, single family. Last time, what they think the property's worth. This is just like a Zillow estimate type thing. Come down, it gives me the property stats, the facts about all the property, other interior features, legal description. There are times where it'll actually even pull up, like right here is the owner facts. A lot of times it'll pull up their phone number right here in RPR on your phone. But it tells me their mailing address, which means obviously it says, yep, they are owner occupied. So it's another way to see whether it's owner occupied or not and get all the facts about the house. You can even go down and see that the last time it was listed was 2023 for 159. And then come down here, you can see they bought it in 2023 at I'm sorry. There it is again. They sold it. They bought it in 2024 for 262. It's a current owner, right? Mm-hmm. But you can see they've only been in it for a few months. So if it looks vacant, they're probably not going to make any money, obviously. But if it looks vacant, well then something happened. They got orders. They had to go. They didn't think they can sell. Look, just because they bought it for that and you don't think they can sell it for that doesn't mean you still can't help them. Again, it's not about just them. It's about who they know. Okay. You can do things like a short sale. There's other things you can do to help them. You got to get your sign in the yard. That's what you're trying to do. So now we know their name, right? So we know their name and we know their address. How can we find their phone number? So forewarn is not supposed to be used for doing this kind of thing. When you do it, when you pull it up, it actually says on it, you're not supposed to be using this for generating to pull up lead information. Does everybody do it? Sure, but
You
you're
could
not.
do a reverse, you could do a reverse property search to try to get the phone number.
Yep. I'm going to show you some other ways how to do that. So, but in forewarn, if you, instead of putting a phone number in, you can go by name and then it asks for address and you can find it there. Just know that that is not what the app is designed for. It's designed for safety, to help you make sure that who you're meeting with is not some type of a serial killer or something like that. So you can go to another site called whitepages.com. And then I can put in their name. What was their name? Cody Kaiser. We're just going to make this simple and copy and paste. Copy, paste, and then I'm going to put in Jacksonville. And then it pulls it up. That's Snow Hill. Nope. Denton. Nope. Temple, Texas. It tells me all these different places for people. Greensboro, Pine Bluff, Huntersville, Beach Mountain, Denton, Lexington. Maybe it's recognizing this. Don't know. Now to find it, when you click on View Full Report, this is also a paid site. You have to pay in order to get all the information, but it's going to pull up all the phone numbers. See, it says it's got a phone number, current past addresses. He's got traffic records. He's got a criminal record. I need to look him up on forewarn to make sure I'm not calling a felon. Hope you all picked up on that. Did you all pick up on that? And then 3 public records. So you could pay for this site, and it tells you here how much it is. I wouldn't do a one-time. Obviously, it's not worth that, but it shows you how much. Okay, you can do 20 contact info lookups a month. Just another way. There are other ways to do that. You can go into Facebook and try to track them down on Facebook, which I know a lot of you love doing social media and pulling them up that way, right? How else do you all use to find people's phone numbers? Anybody online? There's a ton of different sites online that you can go to. You can, IT can actually find it for you as well, but they don't like to do one-offs. They'd rather do a radius. So if you are in a community,
I'm sorry, there's True People Search where you can just type in the address and it will pull up usually their name and phone number.
Yep. You said True People Search, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've used that one too.
Very local, sorry. I know. Mine is
We honestly don't think it's that one or that one.
Go up to the top there and just click on address search and type in the actual address.
Oh, this is coming today before we.
Don't know what the deal is, but it's froze on me. My whole screen froze. Are y'all seeing me?
Yep.
Just making sure because this site froze me up. Let's see if it'll let me open another one.
Sorry, guys, that's Al making this one.
All right, let me close Chrome out real quick because something's not.
Yeah, he was born on fifth. Wow. Oh, a friend of mine at church, he just had a baby on the 22nd. I've got December 4th and December 19th.
Oh.
I know. And November 10th, and then February. I'm a baby. Me too. Oh, yeah, yours is right after mine. When's your birthday? 25th. Mine's the 3rd, and then my twins are the 11th.
So I just went back to the same site. I put the address in. Says this comes up with 9 records found. Wait to make sure it comes up. I think there's a lot of definitely not that one or that one. Not Jessica Couch. It's none of them. Yeah, so it's none of them. 148 Plow Point. Was that the one that we had earlier? It was.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Love technology, especially when it works. There we go. There we go. 148 Plow Point Lane. That's what we put in. It's showing me the owners are Cody Kaiser. Yeah, so it's not coming up with the right owner here. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't come up with the right one there. Here, Brookfield. It says 36. The other one we seeing is 33. 30. There's a Cody A, Cody J. Doesn't have, there's a Jessica. What's that?
The life.
Yeah. So he pulls up phone number, lives in Ottawa. Current address, phone numbers, full background, current, previous addresses. That's what I was looking for because I knew it was here. Ottawa, 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 Ottawa.
It just showed an email for a Cody Kaiser just above there.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if this was him though. There was so many Cody Kaisers that this doesn't look like he ever lived in Jacksonville. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a good number. So this is part of the research that you're going to have to do for each one of these properties to find it. We could probably spend a little while. But when you get a list of properties that when you're driving around, like in Landglide and you have them all, if you don't want to pay for Landglide, write them on a tablet. And then when you come back, you can go in RPR, find the properties, try to find their address using one of these sites. Does that make sense? I don't want to spend all day trying to fix this. I'm just trying to give you different ways to find it. Look, if you're going through one community, as I was saying earlier, you're going through a community and you're searching for vacant homes, you find a few in a certain community, get an address and send it to IT and ask them for all the names and phone numbers of that people in that community. Because then if it's not on the do not call, you'll get it, right? Or you'll get their email. You'll get something that way. That's another way to get it if you can get a few in one community. You can. You just can't be like a spam email. So there are restrictions now for just sending an email. His question was, if you get it from IT and their phone number is on the do not call, but you get an email, can you email them? Yes, but it can't just be, you can't set them up on a drip email campaign without their permission. You can send them a one-off email saying, hey, I noticed your home is vacant. Just want to see if you're what you're doing with it, if you're thinking about selling, or you'd like to know what it's worth. Just thought I'd reach out and say hello. But you have to, it has to be a direct email from you to them. You can't put them in a system and have it emailed from a system, meaning an automatic email system type thing, because that's against the new rules for the year for marketing. Does that make sense? Yeah, they've been talking about it, but it came into effect the first of the year. You're going to see some more guidance come out on that. Denise is working on some things. She's sending it out to the company for that. So you'll see more information come out about that. But for mass emails that you send out, you're supposed to have an unsubscribe button on there, so where they can unsubscribe, and there's other regulations. And again, they're going to send that out. So any questions on driving for dollars or doing the research for finding property information? Because these next ones that we're going to go through in just a minute are going to be ones that you're going to need to do some research on to find all the info. Yeah, so I use LastPass for my password. All my passwords, I do not know a lot of my passwords because they're encrypted. I know this one password and that is it. And this way, when it's synced to my phone and everything, so when I log into someplace, I just put in one password. Then you'll notice it's going to log me in real quick. If you have the same password for everything, I know I'm squirreling a minute, you need to change that. There are a lot of people out there trying to hack into your stuff. All right, so the next thing on the list is homes for rent coming up for renewal. Does anybody have any questions on driving for dollars? No? Pretty simple? Anything that we've covered today, has it been new to anybody? Probably not new idea, but hopefully you've gotten something out of this to help you with your business. So this next one is homes for rent are coming up for renewal. So I'm simply going to go to the MLS. I'm going to go do quick search. And when it comes up, I'm going to change this up here. And I'm going to scroll down to residential long-term rental. So I only want to look for homes for rent. Let's say, you can do all of Onslow County if you want, but that's going to be quite a bit. I'm going to change the status to closed. And then the date for lease date, I'm going to put in, let's do 3/1/2024 to 3/31/2024. 582 homes. I don't want to go through 582 homes. Let's narrow it down to Onslow County. 245 homes just rented in March of last year. Okay. Why did I pick March, first of all?
Military coming in?
No,
Oh,
the
no?
reason I picked March is because property management, obviously these are rented through a property management company. Property management usually sends out renewal notices at least 30 days beforehand. So I want to get ahead of that, meaning before property management asks the owner or the tenant to renew the lease, I want to reach out to the owner and say, hey, your home's coming up looks like the lease is going to come up for renewal. Have you thought about selling? right? I want to be ahead of that. So I'm either going to do March or April. You know, look, I'm building my pipeline. This isn't business that I'm going to get for today. This is business that I'm going to get for March or April or whenever the lease comes up for renewal, right? So this is, you know, I'm working on some things for immediate now, but now I need to start working on pipeline too. And look, some of these, the tenant may have already moved out. We don't know. Or the lease has already been renewed. We don't know. We'll have to do some other research, but we don't know. So right now there's 245 homes. And I can see this, so let's just zoom in. Looks like there's quite a few over here in Hubert, so I'm just going to take and change city. You can do it by community or whatever, but let's just do Hubert for some reason. I live out that way, and I just want to focus on Hubert. All right, there's 32 homes. That's manageable for me to go through. That's a lot, but it's manageable. So from here, pull the list up. It's going to show them all. But what I want to do is I want to export this out of here so that I can look at this a little bit better. What I mean by is owners and things like that. So if I go up to this little 3 tab and I hit export, it's going to pull up this window. It's just going to ask me, how do I want to export it? Just leave it like it is, unless you get into really getting into how to do. If you're a tech person, you can figure this all out, but we're going to leave it just as it is and hit export. It's going to export it as what's called a CSV file, which is just a basic plain spreadsheet. We're going to save it to our computer. Once it finishes downloading, then we'll open it up. It's going to give me all the information about the property. I don't really care. The only information I need about the property is the address, right? I don't really care about how many beds, baths, any other stuff. I just simply want to know the address. It tells me the agency and all this other stuff. Let's arrow across. There, street name. It has street number, street name. It has city. So I'll take all these fields and let's just hit, we're just going to hide them so they're out of the way. So now I know 313 Burley Drive in Hubert, right? What am I going to do with that address?
What?
I can go into the MLS and I can see, did they relist it? Did they sell it? What did they do? So I'll come over here, maybe all around again, 133. This one takes a lot more time to do than the other ones we looked at. Doesn't look like there's anything in there, does it? We know there's something in there, so I did it wrong. 313, not 133. Dyslexia is setting in, folks. Sorry. 313 Burley. There we go. Burley Drive, Hubert. Let's open it up. Should be the home for rent. Nope. It closed. It sold. Look at that. Sold August of last year. That was a missed one. It rented in March, which means the tenant moved out or the tenant bought it or something, but it already sold, right? So I'll go back to my spreadsheet here, and I will just simply I can simply delete it, make it bigger. I can delete it, or if I right click.
Hey, Al,
Yeah.
I think you were looking at unit 2 and the spreadsheet's got unit 1.
Love it. Glad you caught that. I just seen that too as I went back to the spreadsheet. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, look, there's more there. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to, I can label this field however I want. Let's say sold. That's what I'm going to label it as. So that says unit 1. So let's go back to the MLS. Here. And let's go to legal description. That says, looks like it's lot 2, which would be unit 2, huh? It says 2 where? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Yep, unit 2. So 313 Burley. There's unit 1 right there. That's when it rented, right? There was another one there. Usually the largest MLS number, it usually sorts it by the most recent. There's unit 10, but we're going to look, we see another unit 1 here. So let's look at this one too. All we're doing is making sure they didn't sell. That was another rent. That rented September of 2013. This one rented March of 2024. That's what we pulled the list from, right? See how these take a little bit longer to do? And then we saw unit 10. We'll click on it since we're here. Unit 10 sold, but it sold in 2022. We have it renting in 2024, right? So then we would simply go to our RPR or some other site to try to find out. We know it's rented, so we know it's not owner occupied. So I'm going to go to, let's go to RE reference. And then we came down to Onslow County Tax Record site. And I'll do a search for property address 313. What was it, Burley, right? And then we'll see all these. Should I can just click on all of them and see. That one looks like it's, they live in that one. That's unit 11. If they have a mailing address other than this address, other than what they're living, it'll have it here. That's the property address. That's their owner, which is their mailing address. Usually this is a lot easier because you don't have all these properties to go through. Here's one that's a rental. Look at that. So look, I found another one just by going through looking at it and knowing that these are all townhomes. No reason I can't add this person to follow up with or send them a card, right? Or try to find their phone number and say, it looks, go to the MLS, pull up, try to find which unit this is. Maybe it's the unit 1 or unit 10, and then reaching out to them too. Look, some of these takes work. This is the work of the industry, right? This is how you find business without going out and door knocking, cold calling, doing other things to get business. Yep. And this is what 90% of the agents in town aren't doing. Why? Why aren't you doing it? Because it takes a lot of work. Thank you for being honest. You're right. It's not just someone calling saying, come sell my house. Yep. But look, it's cold and rainy outside. What else you got to do? Oh, the rabbit hole on Facebook. Right? Yes.
It's momentum. Yeah.
That's right. Look, once you get one to work, the rest of it, it just starts to fall into place. And you're like, damn, I've got a lot of listings by doing this. Look, I'll pull this info. I'll take an hour one day and I'll just go through and try to get all these addresses and all these phone numbers, right? And then the next day I'll come back and I'll either call them or do a handwritten card. But I'm going to check do not calls, all that kind of stuff. Now, since this is all in a little community, could I put an address and ask IT to give me an addresses and phone numbers for all that? Would that save me a lot of time? See how you're using the tools that we have to help you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's another website you can use to pull up people's phone numbers and stuff. I used to use it with email. Sorry, I should have.
That's okay. So, look, again, this one takes a lot more work. This one takes some work driving for dollars because you got to pull the people's information. For sale by owners, you're actually going to go talk to somebody. Oh my gosh. However, these are all very lucrative because people don't want to do them. It's work. If you send out 30, all cards to all those 30 people that we exported. And even one of them get back to you. Yeah, Spokeo is another way to pull up info. If you put their information in Social Bay, it actually pulls up their social media profiles as well. When you put in Social Bay, put their name and phone number and email address. If they have a social profile, it'll pull that up in Social Bay. Any questions about any of these so far? So another one I'm going to show you is a no upfront fees. Every one of you should do this one, and I've showed this before, but you won't do them. These are websites that you can sign up for that will send you leads, send you listing leads, even buyer leads, and you just pay a referral fee when it closes. Free to sign up. And sure, it may be a 30% referral. It may be a 40% referral. I don't care. It's not about them. It's about everybody else that they know. I'm going to add this link, this file into the chat box as well. Michael, this is all being recorded, by the way, for the recording. So you'll be able to go back to see that. Michael asked a question in the chat. Yeah. Are they all in the chat? You also see them in the chat, right? Links. Everybody good? Anyway, sign up for every one of these sites. If you don't have social media, as far as LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, look, you need to get profiles on all those. And then connect them to Social Bay so Social Bay can do that marketing for you. But even if you get one out of all these, some of these are not in business anymore. Some of them are. I know some of them are because I still get some leads from them that I decline because I'm not working with them anymore. Some of them I send out to people in the office. And I will continue. I go down the round robin. So if you haven't got one, you may get one. But I can tell you, I've got a ton of business from these sites. I was on HomeLight. I was on Referral Exchange. Some of you, Veterans United, are closed. You can't get in unless there's a waiting list. And I know some of you are trying to get in these. However, look, if you can even get in one of them, and get business from it, right? It's one more listing you had. Pay a referral fee. Okay. They're going to know somebody else that has to buy or sell. Or maybe they're selling because they're going to buy something else. Right? Easy day. Those of you that don't want to do the work for this, or anybody and everybody, you should sign up for those sites. I don't know how to stress that. Social media posts, social media boosts. Who in here does social media? A lot of social media. Y'all? Yep. I know Kelly does. I know Dominique does. Dylan? Social Bay. Yep. Those of you that aren't doing it or don't know what to do, y'all know you have this free thing called Client Bay that Seacoast gives you. And in it is a really, really good marketing plan through Social Bay. So if we go to Social Bay, all I did was log into Client Bay. You can get the Client Bay at seacoasttools.com. And then I click on Social Bay and it pulls this up. Okay, this is my platform. It shows me when I put anything on Facebook, it's going to show anything that's automatically posting for me. It's going to show how many people I've reached, right? It's how many people have actually it's got in front of, how many people are engagements or how many people have liked it, shared it, commented something. Impressions, if they looked at it twice, this number should be bigger than your reach. And then time saved, that is just an algorithm they use by them doing all this work for you on all these automatic posts, how much time has actually saved you in your day. This is what it should look like. I am going to, yes, I can get into all your profiles and look at all your stuff. I'm going to use T because I know he's okay with it. I should have used your Stephanie, but I'll use T. So if you look at T, he's been all over this, hasn't he? Look at how many people he's reached. Look at his engagement. Look at the impressions. This is all the posts that are coming up because look, Seacoast has content that's being posted for him. Yeah, all this stuff is going. And he simply has his LinkedIn account, his Twitter account, his Facebook account, his Instagram account, and it's putting it all on there. Right? To put it all on there, you simply go up to settings, go to profile, and you come over here to content and look at all. He has everything set up. He has actually, doesn't have everything. He has a lot. He has a couple more he could set up. TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, not Instagram, but Facebook. A lot of these you need business accounts with. To make sure it's posting for you, just go to your profile, scroll down, and it's going to ask you, where is it at? I'm sorry, let's go to content. Scroll down to content. Make sure this is turned on. Company created content is turned on. And then down here where it has content schedule frequency, make sure that's clicked every other day. So once you connect your social media accounts, turn on the content, hit every other day. That's the only option because it doesn't want you to post everything, a lot of stuff every day and flood your social media. It'll post to Facebook today, Instagram tomorrow, Facebook the next day, so that it rotates things for you. Once you have it set up, you can come over here to the content calendar and look and see all the different things that's being marketed for you. Look at it. His calendar is full. This is automatic content that's being posted for him.
Is he prepared?
No.
He probably.
Some of it he is, but this is all content generated by Coldwell Banker. It's all automatic and goes automatically to the Facebook page. All you do is what I just showed you. You literally just got to go in and turn it on, and then it does the rest. There's other marketing I'm going to show you, but make sure you turn that on and connect your social media so it posts the content for you, right? Yes. Yeah, you have to have business pages on Facebook, Instagram, all those places, but you should have a business page anyway. It's easy to set up a Facebook business page.
I know.
Look, all this content, look, this is a property post. That's what the house is for. The video, that's what the little arrow is. If you see a little link like this is a downloadable buyer guide, right? And there's more content that it'll just automatically fill it up. But you can see that his calendar is filling up. It's automatically filling his calendar up for him. Now, he can add more stuff, and he probably does, because I know T's an overachiever. And you simply, to go up here and hit create content, and then it's going to pop this up. Do I want to create a listing post? Well, if you have a listing for sale, you would do that. If you don't, you can get permission from somebody within the office to market their listing and click on select and go to market their listing. But we're looking at getting listing leads. So we're going to create a landing page post. I click on this. Do I want a home evaluation? Do I just want a contact form? Or do I want a downloadable guide? Most of your downloadable guides are for buyers. There are some like the guide to selling your home, but there's a lot in here for buyers too. There's actually a lot more for sellers than I thought. The last time I looked, it was just a lot of buyers. So they're adding more content. So I like using these home evaluation content. So we're going to use one of these. Let's select this one. I hit select. It pulls up a preview. It just tells me thinking about selling your home, get a quick estimate. I do not like that backdrop, so I'm going to click this picture. There we go. I can simply click these arrows to change the backdrop. I like the one with keys. Boom. How much your home worth? Does all of it for you. I'm going to hit continue at the bottom. Now here where it says, do I want to advertise it or don't advertise it? If you want to do a Facebook boost and push it out to different demographics, you would click advertise. It's going to require you to pay some money. You can do $10 a week. You can do $20 a week. You can do $50 a week. It's up to you. When we first launched Social Bay, Somebody in the office did this. They advertised it within 24 hours. They got a listing, like a listing appointment that somebody put in wanting an evaluation. So it does work. If you just want to put it on your page, on your Facebook, hit don't advertise. Go to continue. And then it's asking you, when do you want to post it on these different social media? Well, we could post it today. I can't see his calendar to see what he's got going out today, but I could post whatever day I want. If I know that I have a hole in one of these that I want to post something on my calendar, and I can change the time of the day, and then I hit schedule. I could do that I could sit here and do that for like every day of the week, a whole month, and then it's done. I don't have to worry about it, right? I can create 1, 2 a week for a home evaluation. And then I could go in and add the downloadable guides for how to sell your home. You see how it works? And that's going to get out to everybody that you're friends on Facebook. It goes to your business page. Look, you're not going to share everything on your business page to your personal page, but things like this and a listing for sale, every once in a while, you're going to send it to your personal page, right? Does that make sense? Go to your business page from your personal profile and share it to your personal page. Then you're not a secret agent. And then the people know you're in real estate. I'm going to exit out. I don't want to post on anybody on his site. I know he wouldn't care. I don't want to do that. I'll let him do his own marketing. But it is a great way for you to get listings. Look, landing pages, boosting landing pages on your website. I have listings to leads here, and that's because that's the program that I used to use. Social Bay is what it should say there, because Social Bay does everything that listings to leads does. If you have a Seacoast website, you can also market that. It has come on, I know it can be reached. So at the top, it has what's my home worth on your website. Every one of you have a Seacoast website like this. If you need to know how to put your picture on here, I can show you how to do that. Just let me know. But you can click what's my home worth. Look, this is very similar to that landing page I just showed you, right? And then I could just copy this URL and go to Facebook and hit post. But that's the same thing Social Bay is doing for me. So if anybody signs up here or on the page that I put in from Social Bay, it's going to go into your Client Bay platform, your CRM with Client Bay. That's where the people go into. You'll get an email or a notification, however you have that set up, to get that you'll find out, hey, somebody signed up for a home evaluation, so that you can call them. Pretty neat, huh? Y'all can still see my screen, right? Y'all online? Good. Thanks, Wendy. All right, the last one is going to be open houses. So if you do an open house and you just send it to change in the MLS and put it online, you are missing a ton of opportunity. A ton of opportunity. When's the best time to do an open house?
Sunday afternoon.
Weekend, Saturday, Sundays, because that's when people are home and are going to be out driving by. I like Sunday afternoons because they're coming home from church between 12 and 3, somewhere in that area, 12 to 2, 1 to 3, something like that. I only do about 2 hours typically. If you want to do 3, that's fine. That's fine for you. It's really your taste on that. But normally it's Sundays, because then that means Saturday I can go door knocking, because that's when people are home. If you door knock during the week, in the middle of the week, everybody's at work. No one's going to be home, right? Most of the people are at work. Most of the people aren't going to go home. If it's in the summertime, you could do during the week and do it in the evening when it's still light out. But this time of year, you don't want to do it in the evening when it's dark out, do you? I don't think anybody wants to go door knocking at night, do they? So look, a good open house system. Monday, email Kathy Alexander. Hey, I'm having an open house. right? What Kathy Alexander does, she works for Seacoast in Wilmington for our corporate office of Seacoast. They will make sure it is at Seacoast Open House website. They will make sure it's on all the on your Zillow and Realtor.com and in the MLS that it's an open house. And they will do a Facebook boost free for you for your open house. So they're setting all that up for you, right? Look, yes, you can do some of that. You can do all that except for the Seacoast Open House website. However, time is not your friend, so let somebody else do that for you. The next thing you can do is you can send out a postcard, do the circle prospecting, right? Send out a postcard to everybody. You don't want to do the email, because remember the email thing we talked about earlier about doing mass emails to people, unsolicited emails? You don't want to do that. But you can send them a postcard. The best way, look, if you know you're doing it next week, send a postcard this week so that when you go door knocking Saturday, they have the postcard, they could put a name to the card, and you're kind of tying it all together. Before the open house, door knock all the neighbors. Hey, my name's Al. I am having an open house up the street. As a courtesy to the homeowners, I'm just letting everybody know. Here's a flyer. Right? That's all you got to say. That's all you got to do. On the QR, on your flyer, put a QR code for a home evaluation. I put 2 on mine. I would put 1 on the back corner that said free home evaluation. And then the other side, it would be view all homes for sale. Because if it's a tenant that wants to buy, I want them to scan that. And that QR code is going to go to my website, right? The QR code for the home evaluation is going to go to my website. See where I'm driving all the traffic back to? And then I would simply ask them, do you know anybody? Look, first of all, I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? My name's Al. I'm a Coldwell Banker. I'm having an open house this weekend up the street. As a courtesy to the homeowner, I'm just inviting all the neighbors. They're going to be like, awesome, great. Well, we're not interested in buying. I understand that. That's good. Just, research has shown that people would like to pick their neighbor. Do you know of anybody that's moving to the area that you would like to have live close by? They're going to be like, no, can't think of anybody. Okay, all right, well, cool. Hey, you know what? I appreciate you thinking about that. Thank you. Do you own your home or do you rent your home? Well, we own your home. Well, that's cool. How long have y'all lived here? What do you love about the community? I'm making a friend now. Right? Before I leave, I'm going to say something like, do y'all have any plans on moving in the next few months? 6 to 9 months. No, we're good. Okay, cool. If they say yes, then I'm going to say something like, you know what? I have found, okay, feel, felt, found. People love that because they can relate to this, that you've had experience, kind of reassures who you are. Does that make sense? I have found people like to plan before they move. If you'd like, I can put some numbers together to show you how long it would take to sell your home when you're ready. Is that something you'd be interested in? Not right now. Okay, I don't mean right now. I got other people I got to talk to, right? But I can put it together, come back, sit down. No obligation, no harm, no foul. At least you know. Sure. Well, let me pull my phone out. When's a good time for me to come back? I'll set an appointment right then, right? If not, what's your phone number and I can call you back. You can get with your wife, husband, whatever. We can set a time to come out. If they say no, I'm not interested, I'm not going to sell, awesome. I have a clipboard, and on the clipboard I have name, I have phone number, I have address, right? An email address. I'm going to ask them, I'm going to say to them, look, appreciate your time. From time to time, I send out information on real estate. Facts, fun things, stats, things like that. Is that something you'd be interested in getting? Sure. Can you fill this out for me? Just give me your name and email. That's it. I'm not going to spam you or bug you, but at least you'll get some cool tips. On that clipboard, when you first start, put somebody else's, like your best friend's name, phone number, and everything across the top. right? So it doesn't look like the person that first signs it is the only one. Because nobody wants to be the first one, because it looks like, well, no one else has signed it. Why am I filling it out? If you have somebody else already there, it looks like you've already got someone else to fill it out. Everybody wants to be a part of something, right? So put somebody else on there. If you knock on the door and you say, do you own the house? They say, no, we're renters. We're just renting. Oh, cool. How long have you lived here? About a year. Well, how do you like it? It's cool. They take good care of the house? No. When's your lease up? A couple months. How long are you going to be living here? Right? I'm just having a casual conversation. I'm trying to help them. Same as a tenant call that I'm trying to flip to buy. It's just they're already renting, right? I'm going to be here for 6 years. Have you thought about buying? No, we can't buy. We just can't afford it right now. Yeah, I can look it up and see, but curious, what is your rent? Look, some of these questions are going to be your comfort level when you're talking to them. You know, face to face, you can tell by their mannerisms or how they're acting if they're open and want to tell you that or not. You may not just ask them that. You can look it up. Or you can simply say, look, I get it. I understand. Most of the time, though, you can buy and your mortgage will be about the same or less than what you're paying for rent. Plus, you can have your own pets. You can paint, you can modify, you can do what you want. You don't have to worry about getting permission from anybody or property management or the threat that the homeowner is going to sell and you got to find another house to live in.
Found an answer for the why I don't want my maintenance.
For my own maintenance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the,
Yeah. What kind of maintenance?
If you can afford to rent, you can afford to buy, especially if they have a VA loan. I don't say that to people who don't have a VA loan because there are other things to take into consideration. But
I say it to everybody because there's programs out there for them. Navy Fed is a 100%
Yes.
finance program that is not VA.
yes.
There's USDA, there's NC Housing, there's other programs.
Some of those I've got into some people with them, but for the most part, it's the VA. But then they're like, well, I don't want to pay for maintenance.
What maintenance would you not want to pay for?
Like an HVAC.
Okay. So there's this thing called a home warranty that'll help with that. We can get the seller to provide it for you. It's good for 1 year. So if the AC ever breaks, you call the home warranty company, you pay $100 and then they fix whatever's wrong. You don't have any other worries about that. Were there any other maintenance issues you were concerned with? Home warranty? Appliances are included. They say, yeah, but what about plumbing and things? Well, how often have you had a lot of plumbing issues here? You know, ask them the questions, put it back on them.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's maintaining the yard. Well, who maintains your grass now anyway?
Yeah, that's easy.
I know, but I mean, things like that, though, you know how to get over. And if they say, well, it's included in my rent. Oh, so that means you're paying a lot for rent then. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. I'd probably say something like that too and just like stop myself. Because I want to plant that seed in their head, you know?
You're paying extra for that.
Yeah. But I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to say, oh, you're paying. I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to stop and I'm going to I'm going to think like I'm, look like I'm thinking because I probably am. And I'm going to be like, oh, so you're probably paying. Oh, that's probably in your rent. Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, and then I'm just going to keep going on my normal conversation like I would normally. Right? So how many people have door knocked for an open house? Have y'all got anything from it?
No, but this was like when Maggie's Corner was first being built.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
Yeah.
You have? Dylan, have you?
Some of the people that I know, they came. Actually, there was like a time in Hampstead, and there was a sister in town at the time. It was the holidays, nobody wanted to do open houses, so I took it. And it was family members in town shopping around the house in that area.
Look, if just because you door knock and don't get anything doesn't mean that it doesn't work.
I did get 2 good leads from door knocking.
You what?
I got 2 really good leads from door knocking 2 weeks ago for an open house.
See?
Because you never know who wants to move close to you.
That's right. And the other thing with that is Look, if you're door knocking and they have people there that wants to move close and you're doing an open house, do you think they're going to come to the open house? Probably so, right? It's a great to build relationships with them to where you can help them. The other thing is, you're getting yourself out there. But if you're talking to people and you're not getting any results, just like any other marketing, it may be what you're saying. Okay. So do a self-evaluation as you're not door knocking and figure out, well, if I was opening the door, how would I feel about that approach? You know, if I open the door and say, well, yeah, look, we're having an open house. Here's a flyer. If you'd like to come by, thanks for coming. See you later. Goodbye. Well, that ain't going to do no good, is it? You're probably not getting any business that way. So you need to figure out a script. If you need help with that, please come see me. So we're not done with open houses. We've done the marketing. We got it all set up. We've done the door knocking. The day of the open house, get with your vendor partner, usually Alpha Mortgage partner. They have directionals to help get people to the home. A lot of times they will put them out for you. If nothing else, they will provide them for you. Put them in every corner to that house, right? Don't just put a sign up front that says open house and expect people to come. No. Most of the people that are going to come to your open house are going to be people that are just out driving for the day on their way home from church. So put it on a main road like Gum Branch or Western or somewhere where there's a lot of traffic, and then you put one at every turn to get to the house. So think about that ahead of time. So when Alpha Mortgage tells you, hey, how many signs do you need? Well, I need like 6 because I go off of Gum Branch, that's 1. I go up and make a left, that's 2. I got to make a right, that's 3. Make a left, that's 4, and it's at the end of the street, but it's a long road, and I want to put one in between there. So that's 5, then 6. Yeah, I need 6. Yep. Alpha Mortgage has home open house signs. Sometimes they will put them out for you. It depends if Paul's working or not. Paul's the guy that does it for them. Other times they'll at least bring them to, Paul will drop them off here at the office and pick them back up. They even have one of those big flappy signs. It says open house with Alpha Mortgage on it. I don't care. It says Alpha Mortgage. It says open house. And it has the directionals. Then go to Walmart and buy one of those small little helium tanks with balloons and tie a balloon around each one of those directional signs. It's $20, folks. Right now, we don't have any money into this except for printing flyers and a little bit of time and gas, right?
You can also go to Dollar Tree and pay $1 per balloon,
Yep.
and then you don't have to blow them up, and they'll last longer.
They have ones on Amazon, I have like a big pack of them.
Yep.
That say open house on the balloon. And you can pick whatever color you want.
I look, it's however you want to do it. If you want to pay someone and go pick them up and go put them out, if you want to blow them up yourself, doesn't matter. But take balloons, tie them around the sign, every sign. Have you been driving? Look, if you drive down the road, do you notice all the little signs along the road? A lot of them are political, right? Even the open houses for folks, unless it's like really flashy colors, you really don't notice it. But if you put a little balloon, you see a balloon flapping, usually you look at it, don't you? It catches somebody's eye because the wind's blowing it. What's that? Oh, cool. Yeah, we also have directional signs of the company names for agents to purchase and keep. They are $10 each. Come see Tammy if you would like any. I like the free version, but if you want to buy your own with your own name on, you can do that too. I used to have a bunch because I did a lot of open houses. If you have a house that sits way back, you can even get directional for sale signs that you can buy to go back there. But put flyers on it, okay? Put flyers in all the directionals. I mean, balloons, I'm sorry. Put balloons in all the directionals and then put a couple on the house itself. Inside the home, you're going to have, you don't need a lot of food. Have some water, maybe some snacks. If you have a lot of food, you're probably going to take it home with you. So inside the home, you'll have a little bit of water. If it's a vacant home, that's okay. You're going to print a bunch of flyers. You need to put them throughout the house. Don't just leave them in front of you. Don't just put them in the kitchen and have them come see you to get one, okay? They're going to come see you anyway, but don't just have them there. You're going to put some in, if there's beds or furniture in the house, put some in the living room, put some in the master bedroom, right? If if nobody's in the home, then put them in a master bathroom on the vanity, on the countertop, in a master bath or in a guest bath. so that as they're walking, they can pick it up and look at it without you sitting there staring at them looking at it. Does that make sense? Now, if I'm in an open house and it's furnished, I don't want people just wandering through the house by themselves, but I also don't want to be on their heels. So I just keep close, meaning if they go down the hall, I'm not in the kitchen. I'm usually at the entrance to the hall. You know, I greet them and I say, hey, thanks for coming. Take a look around. If you have any questions, let me know. And then as they walk down the hall, I'll walk and stand at the end of the hall. I don't want to be right behind them as they're in the room unless there's, you know, you should have had the house prep for no jewelry, valuables, weapons, all that should have been put away anyway. If they're in a room for a little while, yeah, I'm going to go and walk by the room and look in and see what they're doing. But don't be like on their heels. And then as they come out, you just walk away. You don't just stand there and like hound them. And then before they leave, you just simply say, hey, thanks for coming by. Do you have any questions? What you think? All right. Then you have a sign-in sheet. It can be paper. There are some online ones that are really good if you have like an iPad or something that you can put, or even take your laptop to put them on, where they just simply fill it out. One is Open Home Pro. That is one of them. It's a simple app. It'll pull up all the property information and ask them a few questions, and even ask their name and phone number and email address. So they can easily, instead of writing it out, they just fill it out. Boom. And you have a log. Makes it simple. You have agency brochures, have all that stuff. Does that make sense? I have a whole thing on open house system as well. I know, y'all are surprised. Let me go back to this. And that's open houses. Again, if you're just opening the door and sitting there, you're missing a ton of opportunity. Door knocking, look, you could do door knocking for a lot of different things, but open houses is the easiest way to do door knocking because it gives you a reason besides just knocking on the door and saying, hey, I'm doing a survey, or knocking on the door and say, hey, I just want to see if you're thinking about selling your house. Okay? Open houses, hey, I'm inviting you. It gives you an easy conversation with them, especially the ones that say no soliciting, or the ones that are just, you know, the ones that when you knock on the door, they're not happy that you're there. And you just simply use the words as a courtesy to the owner up the street. I don't give a shit about that owner up the street. Okay. All right. Look, man, no harm, no foul. Just want to invite you and see if you know anybody that's maybe moving to the area. No, get out of here. Okay. All right, cool. Have a good day. That's it. Move on to the next one. Yes, I've had those too. I love the ones that go up and it says, beware of dog. If you hear the dog in a house, that dog is going nuts, right? I don't care. Don't care. Still doing it. Then they come up and they're frustrated because you knocked on the door. But then when I say, as a courtesy, they're like, wow, my guy had a dog and he still came and knocked on the damn door. I mean, wouldn't you think that? See what I'm saying? Good stuff. All right, what do y'all have to add? Anybody have anything they want to add or ask? Any questions at all?
Hey, Al,
Yes.
going back to the open houses, you were mentioning the QR codes on the flyer. You mentioned the one for the free home evaluation, but I
Yes.
didn't catch what you were saying about the second QR code on the front for the renters.
Say the second one is for a home search to go to your page. So I would go to my website here, and I would simply go and do a search. I would do if I know I'm doing an open house, say in Hubert, I'm going to do Hubert in the C, and I'm going to put a price of, let's say, 200 to, I don't know, let's say 350. Then I'm going to do search. And when this comes up, there, it gives me this whole list of properties, right? I'm going to copy this URL, copy, and then I'm going to paste it. Because I don't want to just take him to my homepage. I want him to go to a result that is on my homepage. Because when they scan the QR code and it takes them here, they're like, oh, look at all this. Look at this. They'll click on it, And then they can start figuring out the website themselves and do their own search. But I don't want them to, I don't want a URL that just goes to, you know, they pull up my website and they got to pull in all the properties. No, do a little bit of work for them. So QR code, great question. Where can I go make a QR code? Well, you can Google it, or you can go to mycbdesk.com, Coldwell Banker website. And when you sign in, on the left, let me log in. That's not right. It's my CB desk. We're gonna do it this way. Seacoast Tools. I'm gonna come down to, there it is. All things Coldwell Banker, CB desk. Boom. See, I knew it was my CB desk. Okay, I was wrong. I'm logging in the right side. Come on.
Yeah, I actually hit send code.
Do what?
You actually have to hit the send code.
Yeah. I was just getting my phone up. Do not challenge me on this device again. 124887. Thank you. Verify. So when this comes up, if you go to the left under marketing, what's that? No, what's here? Minimize this, get rid of this. Right there. Go to marketing, QR code. All I do is paste the URL. Thought I had copied it. Go back to my search. We'll just say copy that one, and then I'm going to come back and hit paste. Boom. Copy to clipboard or download. And it pulls it already.
Those don't expire.
Don't expire. Did that answer your question, Michael? I think that was Michael.
Thank you
Yeah.
for answering my question, Al. This is Gordon.
Oh, Gordon, I'm sorry. Sorry, Gordon. I know Michael Evanick was on there earlier too. You sounded like him. Apologize. Did that answer you, Gordon?
No worries.
Any other questions? Any thoughts? Any tips? Or what did you get out of today? Any ahas?
The force sale.
Yeah? Go ahead.
I didn't know I know you jerk on it to me a lot.
That's fine.
But seeing it and seeing tease all his doing it
Social
all the
Bay?
time, that will
Yeah. I know we've been talking a lot about Social Bay. Look, and the reason I did this today is because when I talked about this before, I just kind of talked about each one and I didn't show you. And as I explained at the beginning, last year was a lot of times you go to classes and they buzz through the info and they don't really dive in deep. So I'm trying to go back and dive in deep so that you understand how to do each one of these. So if there's questions later or you have questions now on how to do any of this stuff, please reach out and ask me. Thanks for coming, Kim. Appreciate you being here. I hope you got something out of today. She said she did. Thank you. All right, y'all. That's all I got today. If you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. Thanks for coming.